So, hello, ladies. Have a question for you. Does your routines fall to the wayside during summer? All of a sudden, everything that you've worked all year for, whether it's making sure you're exercising, maybe watching what drinking all your water, getting good night's sleep, things like that. And all of a sudden, summer comes, and then maybe I have a little bit more wine than I should, or maybe now, you know what? I'm out in the fresh air. Do I really need to walk every day? Things like that. Do you guys find any of your routines, like when we had younger kids, I totally get it. Like summer was completely different, but now you can do whatever you want all year round. Does summer affect how you do things during the summer?
Go ahead.
Summer interferes a little bit more
Okay.
with things, my schedule, my routine. Meaning, like, if we're going to the cottage, or we might go away more because of the summer. So, or you stay out longer because you're sitting outside by a campfire or things like that. So you're not, might be getting all the sleep you want. So I do see that summer interferes, like can throw an interference in it. But I don't know if it really changes my routine much.
But you both have morning routines.
Yes.
And that include journaling and things like
Yes.
that. So that's consistent. Summer will not affect that.
No. It's so ingrained.
You guys are good.
Well, I can't say it's always been like that. I can't say that. That took practice. It took me saying, yeah, I'm going to go to the cottage. And so my journal is in there, or I'm going on vacation. My journals come with me. It's just embedded so deep into me that more if I don't do it, I'm displaced than doing it.
I think actually the summer is easier in a way because you have longer daylight hours.
True.
And so I find that it's much easier to complete the morning routine when it's light out and it's 6 o'clock than when it's pitch black and it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's less tendency to want to roll over and hit the snooze button when it's bright out than when it's pitch black out. It's like, ooh, do I really want to get up and start? Do I really want to go outside and in the cold, right? So if anything, I think it's possibly easier to do that or even start one, because when you have a few months of this opportunity of the light, and light always brings, I don't know if this is going to sound crazy, but I think light brings goodness. It's like, it's what the season, if you think about agriculture, that is what the growing season is about. So this is like your time, the one of the best times to create new habits, to create new routines, to create anything like that, because this literally is the growing season. And we tend to follow nature's pathway as human beings, right? Where we have the winters of our life and we have the springs, and that's why we feel so rejuvenated in the spring to start something new. We plant new ideas or new whatever, but the summer's when we get to grow and have all of those things take place. And that probably sounds really cheesy, but that's just what I
love it. Love it.
So Tracy G, are you having a struggle with this since you asked this question?
Again, blowing me away because I go summertime. Woohoo! I don't have to do anything.
You don't though, right? Because it's also a time where nothing's happening. You can't see anything that's happening.
No, but it's my excuse for, do you really have to do that consistent thing you've been working so hard to do all year round? And so this blows me away because I never look at it as a growing and creating your habits. I'm like, let's throw them out the door until September. No, is it me? Is it just me? So I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. I don't look at summer like that. I look at summer that there's these few months where your routine gets all messed up, and like I said, my kids are out of school. There's nothing messing up my routine but me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I think though, like you said at the very beginning, it's very different when you have young ones,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it is woohoo time, like everybody's
Yeah.
off.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden it's like
Absolutely.
activities are different, you do things differently, your days are different. So it is that, like, and that's okay. Like, I mean, that's
Mhm.
also a season that you
Mhm.
need to embrace, and it can be that. And your summer can be whatever your summer is. Just
Yeah.
embrace it. If it's woohoo, let's
That's it.
kick off, I'm not doing it, then don't do it.
But I still want to keep those other I don't want to say habits, those other routines. And so I just found it interesting, because we're finally getting warmer weather around here, that I automatically go, oh, well, now I get to cheat on my routines. Like, that was the first thought. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm not like,
Why is it not good?
I'm like that. I find that
Because there's no need for it for me where I am in my life. I feel my routine should be my routines, and I shouldn't look for excuses to not be doing them. And so, whether you go on a trip or things like that, and I want to get to that place where I go, no, this is who you are. This is your routine. You do this like, if I journaled absolutely every morning, I try hard to do all the journaling and stuff like that, I would go, oh, well, I'm away for a week, so that's my away time. And I don't want to be like that. I'm working towards having those just part of my everyday.
but it is okay to go on vacation and not have to journal. That is okay.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
it's not like a bad thing. I do it. And I have gone on vacation, and I have brought my journals, and I have journaled, and then I have not journaled. I brought my journal, and I did journal during my 5 days of pit crewing for Amber. The last 2 days, I did not journal. That is okay too.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay to have routines and to have habits. And it is okay to let them fall by the wayside for a reason. But then it's okay, you pull them back in. And that's what you have to make sure, is that you pull them back in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go on vacation and not journal, okay.
Right. I'm just saying, like, so I try to be physical every day. I try to watch what I eat and things like that. And automatically I go, oh, I could have a little bit more of that crappy food. I can have a little bit more to drink. It's summer. I can have a little bit more. And so it's just this automatic that it's like, oh, you've got a pass. You got a little pass because it's summer.
But don't you think you might do that?
Or it's Christmas.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that. But don't we do that around the holidays?
Okay, maybe I do it nonstop. How about that? Maybe we're talking about something completely different. And no, I just want to be consistent on the things that and again, this goes back to mindset. Be consistent on the things that I feel are important to me, and that not to look for outs, like look for reasons not to do it. And I understand that's a whole mindset for me. I just wanted to know if anyone else felt that way.
No, I do. I do hear where you're coming from. And that took time, like I said, I got to the point where there are times where I have to force myself to come in here and sit down and do my routine because I don't want to. It's summertime. I don't want to go for a run. It's raining. I want to go have pancakes on a Tuesday. It's this. It's just, you build it in, and you just sometimes have to, I want to say the word force. You just make yourself do it. You're not always motivated every time.
Yeah. And I think that's the secret of knowing that that's the whole point. You're not going to be motivated every time, and you still need to do it.
Motivation shows up after. It never shows up before.
Yeah.
It always shows up after you've done the thing. That's when you have that feeling of, well done, I did it, good job. That's the motivation to then try and get it done again the next day, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is to really, I mean, consistency can be really hard. Let's be honest. There is, I mean, some people don't find it difficult at all. They decide to do something and they do it, and that's great. But I would suggest for a lot of humans that it is a difficult thing to do. You get started, you do it for, a month, 2 months even maybe, and then all of a sudden you find you're not doing it anymore. And you're like, so what's that about? That to me is what is more interesting, is what is that about? Why is it all of a sudden that you've decided not to do it?
Yeah.
And are you okay with that? Like maybe it's totally okay that you're not doing that routine right now. And you can pick it up whenever you decide, like Michelle said, like, 3 months from now, I'll start it again 3 months from now. But right now I'm good with not doing it.
But that's
it's just when we go into that bad mental state of, I'm going to beat myself up because I'm not doing this routine. Like I should be this, I should be that, I'm not good enough. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can everybody else do this and I can't? Like, it's when we get into that state that's not good, that we want to then turn around and say, okay, this is certainly not serving me, right? But self-compassion is, I mean, there's a whole talk right there. Self-compassion is so difficult for, again, most of us to do, because we think the beating up is going to motivate us. We think that if we're hard on ourselves and we beat ourselves up, we're somehow going to walk out and go, okay, I, done the 50 lashes on my back, I am super motivated to get this done. We aren't. You might be for like a moment, like, okay, yes, I'll do it. But then that's gone. When you go at it from a self-compassionate standpoint of, okay, so I didn't do it. What would I like to do now? Do I want to do something with that and continue my routine tomorrow or not? And that's so much nicer to yourself, so much easier to do than to do the whole beating up thing.
I think I'm more looking at why, and that's why I just thought everyone went summer's here, take off. So I find that interesting. I don't know if it's like leftover from when you had kids, like, and so you just have to consciously go, you're at a different time and you choose how that year looks, where I don't think I've stepped back and actually done that. I've kept that, summer is this. And it's interesting for me because I don't want to beat myself up, but I also don't want to give up my routine. So that's probably why I look for wisdom from you women.
It's so funny because I typically, whenever like going up to the cottage, going on vacation, whatever, I always have these grandiose ideas that I'm going to start something new. I'm going to create a new habit because it's a new environment, it's new whatever. And really, we don't need anything external in order to do that, right? It's like just giving yourself the permission to do it wherever you are.
Yep. Yeah. It is. You have permission. You have, Tracy G, you have permission from Tracy E and I to take the summer off if you want, or not. That is okay.
Yeah. No, thank you. Because it was like, I just through this, I realized that I've never really identified that, there's different changes in your life and you can change the way you look at it through the seasons, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to ask the audience, do you change different things when it comes summertime? I use somebody like Tracy Gurney, who just is like, oh, summertime's here. Oh, I can do this, this, and this.
Or not do any of it.
Or none of it.
Yeah.
Or add, or whatever. I'd love to hear if you do, or if you make, what kind of changes you make to your summer routine. Some people might have a different routine because it is summer. And like Tracy E was talking about, it's lighter at 6 and it stays light later. There's some people I watch that do their gardening later at night because they're on the West Coast and the sun is up much longer over there. So all of that. So would love to hear about it. If you like our episodes, please make sure you are sharing. If you want to know about when more episodes are happening, hit the notify and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, please put them in the comments for us.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.